Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
Terry.
morning.
Hi, Sally.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Just easy flow. Don't take on any posture of body, posture of breath or energy, any like reference points. Just maybe still look around. What is it like to meditate while you're still in the regular flow? Noticing how you're keeping your mind. Yeah, so just disengaging from the habitual patterns, just free. Just let them be. So basically, the practice is deeply resting and nearly maybe the freedom of deep sleep while being awake. We get so little true rest. Just drop. And then notice how the, the quickness of attention, just focusing and moving. And just even allowing that, oh yeah, attention is moving. Just come on back. Just being aware, so more diffuse, but yet bright. So often we're just chasing one intensity with another. And for some of us, maybe it's quite intense right now in the body or in the mind or in the heart. So don't push away any contraction with another contraction. And it's easy to say, welcome all experience. But even if it feels somewhat contrived, let's take a breath together. And just say welcome, even to that feeling that goes like, oh, it doesn't feel so welcome. But the such an understanding of the experience of our lives, of all phenomena, and the knowing luminosity or self-knowing clarity of lived being. So just be aware of that self-knowing clarity. Maybe patches of blue sky among the clouds of movement. Maybe it's a particularly blue-skied morning for you. Just noticing that in all its amazing completeness and unending bliss of being experience. And I use bliss really in a very free way right there. Realizing kind of the play of the word of like everything that's arising right now, even the apparent unwelcome bits, just the bliss of being. So that's such an understanding of the experience of our lives and our minds uh, does not really belong to any specific uh, tradition or any culture. So we love to play, maybe a lot of us like to play with the Tibetan perspective, but even Namkhai Norbu, the wonderful contemporary Sochen master, insisted often that Sochen, yeah, Sochen does not belong to any tradition and does not belong to any one culture. He said the Sochen insight or realization does not belong to Buddhism, and neither does the Sochen understanding belong to Tibetan culture. Whoa. So maybe Sochen is just woven into the fabric of our being. And then you see it, this understanding of the sky-like freedom nature of mind showing up in so many different traditions. So, so not feeling so much that we're in this niche perspective with the sky-like nature of mind. This is the ground of humanity, the ground of being the ground of humanity. How is it so overlooked by so many? How did I overlook it until I was, say, 47? And maybe still be blown away 10 years from now and go like, oh, I'm still overlooking so much of the boundlessness of my mind. So we just relax into understanding that this deep existential understanding of the lived luminous being, the full experience is indeed shared by all of humanity, and if you wish, by all beings. And then in our tradition, we can then kind of call this space of freedom Samantabhadra or Kunta, which represents the personal, abstract, symbolic name of pure being. Or we call it God. Just the freedom of heart and mind, our true inheritance. It's the self-arising as the beingness of all beings. So just allow the free flow of the profundity of your heart and mind to be unobstructed. Just step out of the way. Let's take a breath and step out of the way. So you just relax the mind. Notice the self-knowing clarity. It's mm, just the self-apparent luminous nature of mind. So the boundless spaciousness and all appearance, and then the knowing saturating all that arises in our sphere of being is one unified, undivided whole. So bright mind, so a shift into even being more aware. Then we set our intent. So we're not just doing it for ourselves, which shifts a little bit the purity and free flow of our practice. May we awaken for the benefit of the awakening of all beings and realize our healing seed in this interest net, in this sea of awakened awareness, in this interconnected ocean of beings. So when we set our intent, what does it really mean? We really feel into it. I really wish to awaken. Today more than we expected when we stepped into this room. Just find that, realizing that is the most profound wish a human will ever encounter. So let it be suffused with gratitude that we know that we have this capacity. So it's suffused with gratitude, and then automatically also with trust and confidence. Like I so often say, trust and confidence that all ingredients for awakening are perfectly here, ready to come to fruition. So just blossom right now in your awakening. Like snap out into the awakened state. Stream of being. Not even the slightest reaching. Every time attention moves, just relax. Just being enlightened right now. Maybe close your eyes for a bit, unless you wish to have your eyes open throughout. That's fine too. And we just practice as you wish, or follow the playfulness. You kind of start with a small aperture and then open it up. Rest the attention on your breath, if that's a comfortable place for you. And have your attention unwavering. It's a bit of a concentration practice. So now attention indeed is focused for the full duration of the in-breath, full duration, and the full duration of the out-breath. And in between the out-breath and the in-breath, in that little moment of space, and the duration of that varies based on the need of oxygen. In that moment between out and in breath, feel into the completeness of what it feels like to be you, the body mind continuum, like a snapshot, not particularizing any story, just the whole thing. So you can see awareness as movement right now. Carefully, carefully with the in breath. Intimate. Carefully, carefully. From the very beginning to the very end. You may notice little waverings of little thought patterns that wish to intrude. You might notice even the winds that carry the thoughts, just the energy, the precursor to thought. Just stay really intimate. Starting to notice these soft little winds of energy that that carry thoughts, we become discerning about those kind of subtleties when we later on just relax in the open sky-like nature of mind. We can even let thoughts go before they even show their face. Intimate with the in-breath. What a loving thing to be so intimate with my breath and with my intent to awaken. And when we distract it for a moment, bring it back lovingly. Don't be concerned with the amounts of times that you are distracted. It provides you with the practice of returning, putting some muscle on non-distraction. Let's take a deep breath. Met de mouth open, let go. And also relax the tension right now. If you wish, open your eyes. Or a wide open awareness. Don't rest your eyes on an object. Gaze at everything at the same time. Gaze into the surrounding open, empty space. Mingle your awareness into the open space. And mingle the open space into awareness. Notice that awareness doesn't come and go. The constancy of the field of awareness. Really identify that awareness doesn't fluctuate, doesn't. You just became aware that you're always aware, and that often the aperture narrows and goes into attention, like we just used deliberately. Notice how it opens up to its true nature, just coming home, a home we can never leave, this welcoming space, always right with us. Just turning awareness like a little bubble of awareness in the ocean of awareness, inside out, gazing into its own boundless whole nature. Saturate the space all around with the knowing of being. Just every time attention moves, just take a little breath or a deep breath and just relax attention. Stream of being. Notice if you can discern a boundary in where you end this feeling of I amness and the totality of boundless awareness begins. So wherever you feel a little bit of a blockage or a tightness or a limit, just stream awareness into it. One subtle limit is the meditator sitting at the center. So you can kind of stream awareness into the center too, or unfold awareness at the center. So it becomes this experience of the meditator becomes really transparent and insubstantial. No within, no without, no out there. Being the boundless field of awareness, not too tight. Now just let the mind move. Don't mistake a vacant state of mind for the presence of awareness. Awareness knows both the movement and content of mind as it does the deep stillness. So hold that simultaneous perspective. So the shift into this perspective becomes quicker and more frequent and for longer duration. And if you keep shifting over and over, it shifts towards awakening more and more. So at first it's just a subtle intention, uh, and there's the aha of being, and then more and more, there's not even an intention that arises. It just pops open by itself. limitless, lucid, bright, knowing, awakened awareness. And the more we allow this shift to happen, the more we disassemble the structures of the ordinary mind. So the boundaries between the ordinary mind and awakened mind collapse. Or we ultimately recognize there was no boundary in the first place, just some limiting beliefs. Let's take a breath together. Relax, brighten the mind. Always right with us. So close, so close. I didn't recognize it. So simple. It couldn't possibly be that. So simple, I couldn't believe it. So simple yet profound. Dare I say, sacred? I couldn't conceive of it. So profound and sacred, I couldn't conceive of it. Even these mundane moments, I start recognizing as the sacredness of the awakened state of my life. I even recognize that the distraction, the contraction of distraction is sacred. Then so noble, so profound, so amazingly sweet. I feel I didn't deserve it. No concerns of being deserving if we already are this awakened, loving state. Noticing indeed the insubstantiality of the thoughts and the feelings that arise and come. Maybe notice also the spaciousness of your body and all the feelings within it. Honoring this kaleidoscope of feelings as not just my feelings, but the inheritance of all the feelings and emotions of my ancestors. And I only have to go back 10 generations to have over 1,000 ancestors. By holding our minds in this open, awakened awareness, free flow of spacious liberation, we liberate all of them too. Notice the sweetness and innocence of your heart at the just saturating the whole sphere of being too. And while sitting in this boundless good-heartedness, we set our intent again, now from the more awakened, open, spacious Rigpa perspective. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. So experiencing our life from the boundless openness as this vast field of being. So now by instead of narrowing attention, maybe bring the dual perspective in of the breath while being aware of being boundlessly aware. See if you can do it both at the same time as a mixing practice. the whole duration of the in-breath, the whole duration of the out-breath. The body as a whole, radiating, shining in space, insubstantial. Against the backdrop of the boundless, open, vast expanse. Let's take a collective breath. Let all little doings just fade. Don't don't visualize anything. Just sit here in the wide open, decontracted stream of being perspective. And see what happens. Just let it arise in the field of openness. Realizing that whatever arises, when it's coming in this bright, shining perspective, is being liberated. Let it come and go. Whatever arises, even if there is some commentary, is okay. Let that happen too. My nature is boundless, awakened awareness. No concerns. There is not a thought or an emotion or a perception or an experience that can dim, alter, or modify or change the boundless wholeness of my being. Interbeing, no separation, There's an experience of being without separateness. Being without separateness is love. Just this welcoming stance for all beings. That's my true loving nature. Let's take a last collective breath together. I promise to stay awake. That's the intent, and that has its own momentum. May you hold all beings beautifully, profoundly, wisely today. The fruition of our practice has immediate social repercussions, and from that perspective, on behalf of all beings, thank you so much for your beautiful practice.